I'm just so glad every time that we were, faced with this challenge, we just chose to do the thing that our heart wanted to do, that made us happy, that was super risky.
Episode, how did we get here?
Number 10.
10! We're in a decade.
It's been a decade of podcasting with all y'all. Just kidding. It's been 10 episodes, which is so exciting.
And this one, Crystal is going to lead. So if you're type A, you're probably going to enjoy it more.
Whoa, slow down.
And it's going to be a little bit of ASMR. Thunderstorm.
We were going to be outside vlogging today, building. But as you can all see and hear, it's a thunderstorm. So we chose to podcast. And it's going to feel like you're here because you're going to hear the rain on the metal roof. And we can pause and have some silence and we can embrace the sound of the beautiful summer storm at any point if you wish.
And let us know if you just want us to shut up and we'll just listen to the storm.
Because truly, it's
not alive though.
I really do love the sound of the storm.
And she hates the sound of my voice. Because I don't stop.
Yeah, you actually don't stop.
Doggies in Chicago.
What we're doing in this episode is we're talking about our journey here, how we got to
these seats,
and our journey through YouTube, through filmmaking, through sharing our life online, where it began, the challenges, advice for others who are interested in doing the same. What else?
Cut the please.
She wants to cut my arms, like as if I'm not human.
I don't like them.
Just kidding. Okay, yeah.
No one does either, by the way.
Yeah, but a lot of people say I mean, it's okay if you say like once or twice an episode.
But I don't like when you do that It's like exaggerated.
Not.
What are we doing? Singing class? La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Crystal can sing. I don't know if you all knew.
Okay.
You want to talk about shoes?
No,
okay.
I don't want to talk about your shoes at all. I don't want to.
Okay, how do we get here?
We're staying on track.
1 moon ago.
How many years ago was it?
So want to start at the beginning? Because I think it kind of does really start there. You made a good point the other day when we were talking about, we reflect on our life a lot, not going to lie, just because we never pictured it this way at all. Not even just like the online presence, but like what we've done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And like where we're living and like everything about where we are is just like obviously not what we pictured, which I imagine is exactly what happens to everyone in their life. But
like I wanted to be a high school gym teacher, so here I am.
You would have been such a good high school gym teacher.
Not too late. I just need
that lesbo just tossing basketballs.
Susie wants us to build a sports complex here, so then I can have the gym class here in my forest school. Aye. Everyone say aye for that. Who wants to send their kid to school with me? It'll be so fun. We'll learn so much. Okay, so back when Crystal and I met 6 years ago, we both had a love for travel 100%.
6 years ago this year.
Yeah. It's like solo 7.
Yeah. This is like going on.
Doesn't matter. Like that's just logistics.
Get it right.
Anyways, you traveled solo, I traveled solo, like not together, like before we even knew each other. It was a big part of our life. And obviously we like to capture these. And I obviously knew that Crystal liked to share in that way because I creeped her on Instagram probably too much in life when we were first dating. And now I don't even look at her profile. But anyways, we have a shared one. And I think that's where it began of like sharing, but obviously it was like a very small audience. It was just like our family and friends, right? I don't even think I can call that an audience. And so when we got together, we would always set up our phone. Literally,
flashlights on.
Oh, I'm pulling a Crystal. That's embarrassing. Sorry.
No, it's true. When we got together, we loved adventuring. I mean, we've said this. Like we loved going off the beaten path, like as often as possible,
and taking photos to remember it.
And not just to remember it. We just like enjoyed getting the most epic photo we could with at that time was our phone,
and
which now looking back on are super pixelated photos. Yeah, like they're not good.
We didn't have a tripod. It would literally be, we'd set this on like rocks and sticks. Thank you for taking all my photos back in the day. And we didn't even know there was no self-timer on phones back then. So we put it on video and then we'd go really still. I followed your kissing photo.
We'd smooch and then we'd take a screenshot of that and post on Instagram. Anyways, long story short, from the very beginning, we were always into capturing the moment at that time through images.
And going on really cool adventures and sharing it.
Which is like Instagram today. I mean, everyone's going on a cool adventure and, you know, sharing it or
Yeah.
sharing their life.
I just think
however,
we
like,
did have a passion.
six something years ago, like,
not many people were doing that.
The platform was young.
There was 5 influencers. And I use influencer word because that's what it was back then. Mm-hmm. Now it's more like content creation, I feel. Like the shift is happening. You can't just like post a photo now, you know what I mean? And it go viral. Like you have to be doing something now.
That's true.
You know?
You have to be giving
turquoise
value.
water is like, so 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's true. Like quite a long time ago, like you could just be posting all these luxurious things and showing yourself like traveling.
And now like
no one wants to see that anymore.
they just want to like,
they want real life.
I like real life personally.
Which is exactly what I want to.
Or like a little aspirational, you know, something of value.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think we always had that spark inside us to share. Just never really thought of it as
large scale.
Like I didn't watch YouTube, to be honest, and I just scrolled on Instagram, so I didn't really know what was out there.
Yeah.
And then when we got the van, we lived in the van for a year first, just capturing our little travels from Ontario in Canada. Pretty much we went east
across
to west, right? Went across country to the West Coast, and we saw everything. We went through America as well. It was so fun. Took a lot of photos. Never took any videos. And then we went to
Which
Tofino.
I regret. I regret so much not taking video.
Yeah.
That's one thing I just want to like start. I just want to say this right now. If you're a photo taker, start taking videos.
If you're not a photo taker, if you're just a person, take videos. It's so nice to hear someone's voice that you haven't heard or you can't hear again.
Actually, this is just I think you should share this, but like having like your dog's bark or you know your parents' voice.
I have my dad's voice and all my pets either meows or barks on like voice notes on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't go back to it like every day, but it's nice if I want to hear it.
Having that audio and the visual in one is even more spectacular.
Yeah.
So
we try to get their bark all the time. We're like, do it. Take howl.
Yeah, take videos.
It's just another level. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's deep. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And I love it so much.
Is.
So after living in a van for a year and saving up money to travel Canada to Argentina, we were going down the West Coast and we were in Vegas.
We found ourselves in Vegas.
Why not, right? Vegas is fun.
Yeah.
Did we have Aki then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after hanging out with like Max and Lee, they were really like, girls, you're going on an epic adventure. Like you have to show it. Like they basically what we just said to you about having that video footage is what they said to us because you can look back on all these things.
Yeah.
And
well, I think once you feel and see the impact of video, you want to share it. You want other people to be able to experience it. It creates a different feeling. Video hits different.
Yeah, there's a difference, even a photo to a video, but I would call my mom and my grandma and be like, we just went into the middle of the wilderness on the West Coast where the cougars live and saw a bomber plane smack dab in the middle of the forest. And to get there, we had to count 16 telephone poles, turn right, and it was like a scavenger hunt that only locals would tell you. I think it's online now, but it was such a cool adventure and we don't have that. Do you know what I mean? And no one understood it. So I would tell my grandma, I'd tell my mom, and they'd be like, cool. But imagine they saw that drone footage. Did I get drone footage there?
Yeah, we did make a vlog then. When we were when we had gotten to the West Coast, we took
shots. I wouldn't call it a vlog.
We had a camera. We had a little camera. We had like a little point and shoot camera. And we were like just trying to take videos and just experimenting, seeing what it was like for a second.
Yeah.
All of that is who knows where, nowhere. I don't know, even think it exists anymore, but we were just like just picking it up.
Taking shots. Yeah. Just like taking shots and enjoying it.
By no means like it was a bad camera. Like it was not a good camera.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere there.
Just start somewhere.
There's a saying like 10% gear, 90% up here.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to shoot with.
Then that's just it. Everyone has a cell phone. There's no reason why you can't do. People are doing incredible things online and on YouTube.
With their phone.
With their cell phone.
Yeah.
Of course.
I love shooting on the iPhone.
It's fun.
It's a vibe.
It's freeing. It's kind of like just way easier and like fluffier in a way. It's more
and by
fun.
Free, Chris doesn't mean like the thing is free. She means like it's like freedom of shooting,
Yeah.
because we shoot manual in our vlogs, it's like no settings change. It's just changing constantly for you.
You just shoot it up and you press record, and it's like
It's effortless and it's
Yeah.
fun and it's very raw, which
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
I like that added bonus. It's like when people use VHSs in there. I love that. That's
Yeah.
very planned out though. It's not very raw. It looks raw, but it's very planned. So obviously we were traveling down, and before that we were just like shooting on our point and shoot.
doing nothing with it, really.
Doing nothing with it.
No.
Just taking video footage because we were told how important video footage was.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's continue.
Let's just try it.
And then after seeing Max and Lee, that's when they really were just like, you need to get into YouTube. They even put us in one of their videos and we took tequila shots.
Yeah.
It was so cute and so funny. Yeah. It took a long time to get that shot and a lot of tequila shots, so it was not the first try.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah, they taught us
being
so much.
around it and just talking about it, which is why I'm really glad we're going to talk about it in the podcast, because each week people watch our videos, but there is obviously like this story of like how we got to this point of being able to make these videos and
Yeah.
be comfortable in front of the camera and like be able to tell a story. Like all of that took time. And
Yeah, and a lot of like encouragement and inspiration
Yeah.
from our two friends who I would say like are the reason we started.
they pushed us into it. And so that's why like Talamads, for example, like I just like love and adore them. And I like saw their passion for adventure and, you know, they
Yeah.
were like trying to capture their journey, and like watching them do that, like I just think I
Yeah.
just encourage people to capture
I think what you're trying
their
to say
life.
is like Lee always like shared the pie of her knowledge and like, you know what I mean? And then when we experienced that from a YouTuber, we were like, let's do that again. So we met Talamads and we saw the inspiration behind it all and the
Yeah.
passion. We were like, let's give all of our knowledge to them.
And I know some people are super curious about it. So like, I'm really happy that, you know, people will tune into this and maybe like gain a little bit of insight. But if there's any other questions, of course, leave them in the comments and we'll answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really our journey began with our cell phones and a point and shoot camera. We picked up one in Las Vegas.
Because there's no tax.
Yeah. And at the time we spent like really like we didn't have a budget for a camera. We really like we were going out of budget by
This is
buying
bad.
a camera.
Yeah.
But we knew that it just felt right.
And a mic.
It felt right in the soul.
Canon M50 and a mic.
Yeah.
With a lens and not like a wide. Did we buy? No, we didn't even buy a lens. We just had
the
that
kit
kit
lens.
lens. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't buy the wide
Yeah.
angle. That's why
No.
our foreheads are cut off in all of our videos. And so that was super amazing.
So we just began. I think the reality is just like anything, I think like anything, like you get a puppy or you become a mom. I've never done that before. Or
You just do it.
pick up a new hobby or you start painting. You don't need to know everything about that thing to just begin. And that's
Yeah.
like every single thing in life. That's like this cabin. That's like the van. Like we didn't know where we were going. You just started
No,
driving. Like
not at all.
it's all the same. So that's kind of where it began. We just picked up that Canon M50 and we were like, let's start taking video.
No idea about shutter. No idea about aperture. No idea. We shot in camera mode for like the first year probably, without actually switching it to video mode. That's why it would crop in.
We were complete amateurs, and I love that. I love that we walked into this with no experience.
Looking back, I would have started on my iPhone. However, I had like an iPhone 6 or 7.
iPhone quality at the time, though, was so different back then because
Yeah,
people didn't
no.
have space on their iPhone to have that much video. That was the number one problem. And then, like, just the video in general was just like, it wasn't having a point and shoot back then was better.
I guess
Nowadays,
so.
your iPhone is extremely
crispy.
high quality. Like, it puts the Canon M50 to shame.
Yeah, I would use a phone over like a budget baseline camera.
100%.
Yeah.
You can shoot 4K
True.
60 on your
Maybe
phone.
that's why then.
You can do complete slow-mo on your phone.
I know, it's wild.
It's
240.
wild.
240 is like,
Yeah.
Anyways, picked up an M50, continued shooting our travels, and that's when we really started making videos. And we would make videos of like the come along style, like come hang out with us while we go to this waterfall. So our third ever vlog has like 2.5 million. I have no idea how that happened.
Weird.
But however,
The thumbnail's a banger. Wink, wink.
It's a screenshot though. We didn't even take thumbnails. We didn't
Yeah.
know how to take a thumbnail, so we just said, okay, here's part. I'm like pretty sure YouTube picked it.
See, that's the thing.
We
There's
just
so
picked
many
it.
steps. I forget about all of that because it's become so natural to us now. But like, yeah, okay, like get a camera and start making a video. But then you have to put the video together. You have to edit that video. You need to then upload it to YouTube. Make an account on YouTube.
No SEO.
Understand SEO. Make a title, take a thumbnail, like all of that stuff.
So all that stuff you can obviously learn online. and then we learned through friends, and that's like how we gained all that knowledge in order to do it. But remembering a thumbnail
took a while.
Still takes a while.
Yeah.
Saturday comes, oh, we got to get a thumbnail for this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you noticed, here's a funny thing though. Our window video, the week before that, the tractor video, it is our new windows in that thumbnail because we forgot to take a thumbnail.
Yeah,
no one noticed, obviously.
No.
But anyways, thumbnails are still hard. They are, I think, the hardest part of the whole job. Thumbnails, not the hardest part, but like they are a hard part.
It can be though.
Yeah.
Like it's like, because you really have one opportunity when you post a video to get the best title possible. A lot of people wouldn't even think about this either.
Title and thumbnail are number one things.
So like if you don't know what the thumbnail is, it's the photo. It's like the movie poster when you're scrolling through YouTube, you're looking at the photo.
Or Netflix.
This is obviously for some people because not everyone's going to know like, you know, what's a thumbnail. But like it really is, you have to go out and take that photo to represent. It's like choosing a movie poster.
You have to tell a story.
Yeah.
Tell a story in your thumbnail. That's all it is.
And the title. And so those two things are the most important aspect. The video doesn't even really matter sometimes. That is the first thing people are seeing. They're not seeing the video. They're seeing the thumbnail and the title, and you've got to draw them in. And that is not always so easy.
And when you're beginning, it's even harder because you forgot to do everything. So you just take a screenshot. You have no idea what you're doing.
You don't know what your audience wants.
Hence why this Oregon video, anyways, I'm pretty sure YouTube picked that thumbnail. It went on, has like 2.5 million, which is absolutely crazy for our third ever, like actually was our first ever vlog, third ever video.
Super strange.
But the funny part about this vlog is that it was 13 minutes, okay? Remember, Max was in the van with us and he helped us like edit, like tweak it, yada, yada, yada. And we decided to cut the entire thing and make it 2 minutes in Oregon. That's 2 minutes in Oregon. And I think that could be why it did really well. So our initial thinking in YouTube was that like, why is someone gonna watch 13 minutes of us? And I think that's because of this thing called imposter syndrome. Why does someone wanna hang out with me? Like, you know what I mean? For 13 minutes.
Or like why does someone want to watch me eat breakfast or go on a hike?
Yeah.
Like what's special about that, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's what it boils down to so much is like it's usually your personality that's carrying it.
I think personality is key, and that's
story, obviously.
Yeah. I think personality goes farther than story though.
Yeah.
I think story is like, that's when you get into like the more of the filmmaking. I think that's really important because you learn how to tell a story naturally without even knowing you're doing it. But your personality is number one because people are going to remember a joke you said, but they're not going to remember that, like that shot. You know what I mean? That you might be like, that's my baby of a shot. No one's going to, some people might, but.
Also like my favorite thing of like the people that I watch is like, I'm there for them. Like I'm very much like.
See what they're doing.
Yeah. Like I like them. Like that's just it. Like,
not their shots. Like.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have like there is a place though for cinematic as well.
Yeah.
But it's just different. Anyways, that video, we cut it down because we thought no one wanted to hang out with us.
Well, that's what we did in the beginning. We were doing 2-minute videos for a while.
Yeah, because we were just like
we didn't know where to start.
No, we had no idea where to start. Also, like that's hard. 3 minutes in a edit when I know what my partner didn't want to speak to the camera. Remember?
It's true.
I would have to literally be like, Crystal, you need to speak to the camera.
It's probably wild for people to hear that. But yeah, when we got into YouTube, like you were very, very...
Well, I just jumped in 2 feet. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it.
You were very eager and very into it. And I was definitely along for the adventure at the time because I was super uncomfortable speaking to the camera. I didn't know how. I would just stare through the camera, not even blink. It was very awkward for a long time. And
in our introduction video,
we were starting to make longer vlogs at some point, and we had to like carry the vlogs. You have to like remember like, oh, okay, like I'm having lunch. Like this is probably important to show. Okay, now we're leaving. We're driving somewhere. Like when you're traveling, like, well, that's important to show. So it's like you had to keep like, so you'd be like, grab the camera, take this shot, tell the vlog that. And like it was like, it took a while for me to get like break out of my shell and really be who I am on camera. Because
it was so annoying. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, versus like today.
Oh yeah, now I'm like, Crystal, I can't speak. Like we literally just did an Instagram and I was trying to speak and Crystal's like, can you say that differently?
It's so funny.
It's asking a question. I was like, and now to Krista.
I just think we've both like, I don't know, like it's taken quite a few years. Some people probably are just like right off the hop, probably natural, but like for us it's been years, and I feel like now like we've never been so ourselves. Like, we're so ourselves. However, it took a long time to get here.
It took 3 years.
We were always ourselves. It's just hard to
crack jokes or
fully let it all go, let your walls down, and let the entire, not world, but world, because you're putting it online for the World Wide Web. So you don't know who's watching it. Like, I mean, 300,000 people, our audience on YouTube, like that to me is the world, like the world. Like it's just like, it's this crazy big community. I love it so much. But like, yeah, it took a while to like let your walls down and be like totally.
Yeah. I mean, like I think our last Q&A is a prime example of us like really putting our wall. What am I saying? What do you do?
Just letting it loose.
Let loose and like open up, because that was really hard to do.
Well, anyone would know if they just pick up their phone or their camera and then you would start talking to it. Let me know how it makes you feel if you've never done it before.
Yeah. And
like it's a funny feeling at first.
Yeah. So we got more comfortable, more ourselves. And I don't know. I like how ourselves we are in the videos now.
I've never been happier shooting because I just feel like I can
rolls.
I don't have to hold anything back either.
Yeah,
like,
it just rolls.
And it just rolls. It just goes. It's like this natural flow, and it wasn't always like that. There was times where we were like really overshooting so much, and I was like, okay, like we don't need to fill every single gap. People can imagine that we brush our teeth before we go to bed.
Yeah, and I wanted to show everything.
Jasmine was like, we've got to do, dun 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 dun. We can't miss a beat, but it's like, there was always like this, like, we were always figuring it out, and we still are. There's so much to learn. We are learning so much, but
yeah, I think we're okay with it not being like as perfect, which I think is really important
because you want to have fun.
Yeah, you don't want it to be fun.
Yeah, you don't want.
You don't want a perfect video. You don't want it to look like you just made this perfect fire. No, you want to show your struggles to get that fire going.
And I truly,
because that's the funniest part.
I truly believe that's like what people like about YouTube is like they don't want to come and see this perfect film. They really don't. I do think there is a place for that, but I do think that like being able to connect to someone, feeling like this like raw sense of like, they don't have everything together. It's just like, I mean,
it's relatable.
Yeah. It's just like,
no one has everything together.
Exactly. So I think that like, that's what people really love. I mean, when in this niche and like lifestyle.
Okay. Back on track. So we realized we really sucked at taking videos. I didn't even know you hit record like a bunch, like it's a bunch of shots. I didn't even know that. So we bought this book, How to Shoot a Video That Doesn't Suck.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I have not.
We didn't even know.
You didn't read it. That's why you forgot.
No.
I read
not the book. I would never forget about that. I forgot that we at some point had to learn that you press record, take a shot, and then turn off record. And then I forgot. Like that was like the fundamentals of videography, using a camera. Like that was a challenge in itself.
Yeah, so that book taught me that. It's 2 years of film school in one book, which I read pretty quick. It was nice. I learned a lot by Steve Stockman. And then
I would never forget that. You read that in the van. Like I remember having that on the bookshelf and like you loving it. And
we
like,
gave it to someone.
Learning,
Hopefully they're using it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pass it on too. Mm-hmm. The traveling book. We should have signed it. That'd be fun, Like started with Vanwives and next person signed it.
That would be fun.
So then we started traveling. Then we were starting to cross into Mexico, right? And we just kept shooting. We just kept making videos.
No, we hustled. We hustled the videos. We didn't, at that point, we were like, let's post weekly videos.
Yeah.
And we were on that cadence and we were not stopping. Nothing was getting in the way of us posting a video on Sunday. And we wanted to be so consistent to that for so many years, we didn't take a week off for a long time. Our whole life consisted of waking up, vlogging, editing, and getting to the next adventure. And that was it. Yeah. Which was amazing. But it was a ton of work in the beginning. It still is. But we have more of a flow now. And we have help now.
A team.
Can you actually like bring yourself back all those years?
I am right now.
You sitting in the van for 25 to 30 hours a week at the computer. I don't want to remember
this. I've kind of blocked it out.
Our week looked like shooting video for like 2 to 4 days. And then Jasmine would sit down and edit for 20 to 30 hours. And then we would press publish. And then we'd be on to the next adventure. Like that. That was the week, and it would replay every single week for as long as I can really remember.
And pressing publish is not as fast as pressing publish because we were traveling in Mexico and Guatemala. So
long before Starlink.
Yes, obviously. It was like 2019, 2020. So we were uploading from our cellular data.
Using 3G. 2G.
Awful G.
Awful G.
I don't even think you can name it. It's so slow. It would take 11 hours. Before we would go to bed, we'd upload it from our phone and then fall asleep. And sometimes it would fail and sometimes it would be up. So we really had to make sure we had the videos before Saturday because we needed to at least start uploading on Friday or Thursday. So that way we could be consistent.
It meant everything to us to be consistent on Sundays. So yeah, we were actually week to week. We were literally vlogging and it was like as soon as you were done, we were hitting publish. And it was like that for so long.
Yeah, like reflecting.
That was stressful. I remember waking up like you were just saying and being like, oh my gosh, the video failed.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, and we had like, I guess blinders on because like all we cared about was just like YouTube and uploading and because it was so fun.
And we
like,
loved it. We were obsessed. We still are.
We still are and we still are obsessed and love it.
But so much so that we like really actually didn't do anything else than,
that's what I was gonna say.
Travel and vlog.
I feel like getting into YouTube, I don't think I realized what it was going to be like at all.
No.
But you lose, well, at least as a travel vlogger, obviously, like, you're not going to be around friends and family, and you're just going to be making videos, you know?
We took off, and we really didn't see friends and family for a long time.
And we still don't really. We live 18 hours away from them.
However, it's different now because we have a home base. They can come here, so it's very different.
And
then
we're
just
able,
like no one even came to visit us in the van really, except for Cam and Haley once. And like, thank gosh they did because
it was so nice to see familiar faces.
Yeah, it was
after
different
being
then.
away for like over a year. Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah,
I think that's something that people don't really talk about on YouTube, and like you can watch these travel vloggers and be like, oh my gosh, and obviously like. I'm not saying...
It's not amazing.
It's not amazing. It is.
It's incredible.
But just imagine not seeing those people that you love so much for a very long time.
Balance is weird in the entrepreneurial world.
I
think artists struggle with that too. Like, I think it's just...
You're on tour for a year. You don't see anyone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're having the time of your life.
Yeah. And you're working really super hard.
I wouldn't change it. So I'm very glad we went through all that in order to get to where we are now.
And now we understand balance more than ever. We actually just learned this new thing. Shout out to Colin, our editor. He's amazing. But he talks a lot about balance. No, what is it? Structure equals freedom. And that's what we've been running with. And it feels really good because we've put so much structure into our life that we just, wake up.
I wake up every morning and I say structure equals freedom, Crystal. That's the first word she wakes up to.
It's hilarious.
Actually, no. Morning, I love you. And then structure equals freedom, Crystal.
It's hilarious that I almost forgot that it's structure equals freedom because we say it so many times a day because that's what keeps us motivated. I mean, there's so many reasons to be motivated, but what I'm trying to say is that
not motivated, but just we are our own bosses and we're very lax people, right?
Yeah. Structure is just important.
So if you have a boss, they're gonna watch when you clock in. Krista watches when I clock in. I watch when Krista clocks in. Do you think I hold her accountable or I hold myself accountable? No, we did not for a very long time.
Yeah.
However, we do now, right? So it's like, okay, like we need to start filming by 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, we're late.
Yeah.
That's a penalty. I don't know, just kidding. We're not that tough. No, but when you are on set by 10 and then you film until like 9 at night, and you do that 3 to 4 times a week, you get so much done that you now have your days off.
You have weekends. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're living for that. That's awesome. And that's where...
I don't think... Friday night. I wouldn't say all Friday. Like...
Saturday, Sundays. We have Saturday, Sundays, which is amazing. Like, it's more than enough time to, like, sit down... Take care of yourself.
Putter around,
hang out with the dogs, hang out with each other, go to town, have family up, FaceTime someone. Like those hours are equally as important. And because you give yourself that, you actually go further. Yeah. Because those things are so important too.
Rest equals creativity. Another Colin statement. But it's true. After the weekend, I've like rested my brain. Or our weekend isn't always Saturday, Sunday, by the way. It could be like Monday, Tuesday. It's normally whenever the weather is crap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Normally we are better looking. To be honest, it didn't say it was going to thunderstorm today. It said it was going to be like this.
Yeah.
So we normally look at the weather and be like, okay, let's have these 2 days off, right? And then you do structure until then. And then you get freedom. Anyways, try it. Let us know how it works. But that took us until our 3rd year on YouTube. So I would say, yeah. Anyways, let's go back a bit. Let's go back to when... I would say when we were in Alberta, so we've come back from Guatemala because pandemic happened. We rebuilt our van. I would say when we rebuilt our van. When we were rebuilding our van, we obviously were like living at the shop, but also living in the van in between my mom and my grandma's house. But we also had access to unlimited power.
I know where you're going with this right now, and it just blows my mind.
And this is when I think we really dove deep into like camera fundamentals.
No, making
videos.
Beyond that, there's a reason why that happened. Is because at that point in our life, we were like at a crossroads. We had just got back home to Barrie, and we were like, okay, are we going to go back to work because we have $200 to our name?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Between the two of us, and we're currently living in a van with our 2 dogs in our grandmother's driveway.
And our engine takes $200 to fill up in dieselina.
And we've got an old van, and we want to travel, but okay, so anyways, we're home. We're like, shoot, we have 2 routes right now. Continue to go hard and hope that YouTube works out. Or go back to work and dream of being a YouTuber when we can.
And this wasn't just like one day when we were back at home. When we were driving from Mexico to Canada, this was a big topic in the van, was like, what do we do now? Because we obviously had a little bit saved, but not much, because we spent 6 months in Mexico and spent more time there and more money there than we anticipated, but that was okay. Oh yeah, wow, we are getting way ahead of ourselves. Oh my goodness. So when we were doing Central America, you were going to go home and work for the summer for 4 months, right?
Yeah. So we could carry on.
To bank some money. Mm-hmm. I was going to stay in the van with the dogs. Maybe I'd go back too if I needed money, but you were going to go work, right?
Because at that point we were just probably coasting at that time.
Well, we were very frugal. Like, remember our friends went to go swim with the whale sharks, and we were like, no, we can't do that. It's $60. Like, we were living on $5 a day.
Actually, yeah.
Like, literally. Cool. Unless, other than diesel. I shouldn't say that. Yep. But like, so we were living on like $5 to $10 a day minus the diesel of like getting places, because that's obviously, you have to do that. And
our bank account was slowly depleting. Obviously our experiences in life were getting grand, and we were in Mexico. It was so
we were experience rich, money poor.
Yeah, we were soaking in the culture and oh my gosh, the nature, and it was amazing. But then it was like reality hits you, and you're like, okay, you need to go home and go to work. One of us needs to go, probably me, because I was running out of money faster.
You had less than me. I saved a little bit more because I didn't have a tuna burger problem. Called yo.
Yeah, and a going out for dinner and hanging out with friends problem when I was on the island. Anyways.
Okay, so we were in Guatemala.
We were coming home.
But let's say if we didn't have to come home, okay? If we didn't have to come home because of the state of the world, you would have flew home. I would have continued like the YouTube channel. You would have definitely filmed what you were doing in Barrie. But money was getting tight there. So then now we have to drive from Guatemala to Canada.
But why?
Because the pandemic.
Yeah, so we ended up having to go home. So we just ended up driving the van back to home.
Which
to
is what I'm getting with that is that's a lot of money that goes into our diesel tank.
We could have made it to Colombia.
We would have been in Colombia, everyone, if the amount that maybe even farther. Maybe even Argentina.
Expensive to beeline it from Guatemala to Ontario.
Yeah, so we were like, oh crap. We got no money left basically.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah. Anyways, we had absolutely it was bad to our name. And we were like...
So yeah, we made it home. We were parked in Grandma's driveway, and we were at a crossroads in our life where we're like, what are we doing? Are we going to go back to work?
Yes. Or are we going to just
really
continue
didn't
YouTube?
Want to, really, because we just came back from such an incredible experience. We're like, we don't want to...
We were making $300 a month on YouTube at that time too.
Yeah, so that's really all we had in our bank account. We had next to no money at that point, and we were like, okay, we have to work. Or we risk it all, and we just continue. And
what do you think Jazz and Crystal chose? We obviously risked it all.
We did not go back to work. We said we will just live off of, we will be super, super careful, and we'll make videos, and let's hope it works out. And we never stopped. And
no, we just decided, okay, well, there's a lot of fun, cool things that are free to do in Canada.
I have to say, though, it was hard to get back into it because everything was weird at that time, and you couldn't really travel far. So we were making weekly videos basically an hour from us.
Someone actually commented, I'll always remember this, saying that you know how to make lemon out of lemonade. What's that saying? Basically, you know how to make something out of nothing.
We were making videos out of nothing at that point.
Yeah. However, then we realized there are so many cool, fun things that you can do in Ontario. And yes, it was really hard to go from our dream of overlanding Canada, Argentina, just seeing the most beautiful places in the world. And obviously Ontario is beautiful too, but it's something that we've already done. But then we were like, but our audience hasn't seen these waterfalls. Like, Ontario has beautiful waterfalls. Let's show our audience these places that we know of that we can go to safely. So we started filming those things. And it was obviously, like, I was showing like Belanger Beach, which is the most beautiful beach in the world, to then showing Hogs Falls. And I was like, you know what I mean? It was hard.
It was
not gonna lie. It was hard.
It was just hard because like when we were making videos,
we were living
our
our
life,
dream,
but then suddenly we were back in our hometown, and it was like, oh, you know,
we were literally living our dream. And I think that's like, and a lot of people were living their dream or in their like profession that they love so much, right? It was just, it hit hard for everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways. So
I'm really glad we made that decision. I'm really glad that we didn't go back to work and get like another mediocre job or started serving again.
No.
Because I just like, I loved that. I still miss serving sometimes. When I walk into a restaurant, I sit down, I'm like, oh, I just love that like environment. Yeah. It's so fun.
The teachers board was hiring like crap. I was going to do that.
Like, you were going to be a teacher. Like, things could have just been different. They just could have been different. And I'm just so glad every time that we were, you know, faced with this challenge, we just chose to do the thing that our heart wanted to do, that made us happy, that was super risky. We just chose to live a little less comfortable and wouldn't go out for beers and pints and meals and like, you know, we chilled back a bit and
I'd sneak alcohol into places.
We focused, Jasmine had a flask. We focused on the videos and that was it.
Yeah. Just kidding. I didn't actually. Well, I did, but not during that time. Yeah. So we showed our own backyard and I thought that was like really exciting. And this is what is crazy about this and how when you choose what makes you happy, somehow it does always kind of work out or life works out. I don't know if this is like very, I don't know.
Whimsical,
it sounds whimsical,
but like it's not.
Life does work out in the most mysterious ways in life. In situations,
it's all energy. This is gonna sound.
I can't get into. I don't want to get into this.
No, but I truly believe that you're putting that out there. Those are thoughts. You're. It's whatever they say it is.
Manifestation, and let's not. I like the show Manifest, but let's continue.
I don't like talk about that stuff at all ever.
Okay, we're getting off the topic.
I believe that. I believe it.
Okay, yeah, we put it out that we were just gonna keep filming our life, and literally looked in our inbox and a sponsor, our first ever sponsor came in and was like, we'll sponsor you. And we were like,
we were
what?
Pinching.
They were like, we'll sponsor you for a year. And we're like, what? And then Lee's like, do 4 months. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that was like, whoa, okay. Like all of this hard work, all of this dedication, all of this passion, like the universe is saying, you know, you're on the right track. You know, you're doing the right thing. Just keep going. Yeah. And it was like a little bit of a glimpse of hope. Like, okay, like let's not stop. We did.
It's not like we're saving money with this sponsorship. We were putting everything we earned from YouTube or sponsors. We still do to this day. We put back into our videos, right? So we were like, okay, now we would look. We'd be like, okay, we can allocate. Let's go to Killarney, right? So we drive to Killarney. That was 3 hours of driving, which is a lot of diesel in the tank. 3 hours there, and then 3 hours back. Plus paying for a camp spot, 60 Canadian dollars.
Yeah, it's like, so it was now enabling us to go further.
Show cooler places, enjoy ourselves.
And not only that, at that time, we were able to upgrade. We were upgrading our gear.
We got a better mic so it didn't go zing, 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 zing,
and it didn't sound like we were in a tin can of beans. We were like, you could hear us.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then
I remember the laptop I was editing on.
Yeah.
It would crack. Crystal was like, I don't know how you do this. And I was like, patience. She's like, when do you have patience? I was like, I don't know. For the vlog, I have patience. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so every cent we made, we just put back into the channel.
And it was exciting because the videos got better, because the camera got better, and because the microphone got better, and the laptop got better, and we were able to get an editing software, and like all of these things just snowballed. And then the video got better, more people wanted to watch it, and then we could get a better camera, and it was just like this cycle. And then it was like,
for instance, we started with a point and shoot, a Canon M50, a Sony A7 III, and now we're shooting on FX3s, which if you look in the line, it's just like,
some people would actually want to know what we're shooting on today.
I just said
told you what. Yes, we are shooting on the FX3s. I don't know what kind of lenses we have. I know we have about the
Sony G Master 16-35 for our A roll, and then we shoot on 2 cameras because well, we actually have like phones going, everything going. Yeah, so the FX3s are babies. Netflix actually approves them as a camera. It's a cinema line. It's a very good camera. And the lenses, I said that already, right? Yeah.
The G Masters, yeah.
And on the B side, we have a telephoto lens to get the spicy B-roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we didn't obviously start with this gear, but we worked up to it. I'm just going to rhyme off some gear right now, just in case a lot of people are wondering how to store things. Storage is a big confusing part of it all.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, SSDs, I would highly recommend. They are more expensive, but they don't break, especially when you live in a van. However, now we have a Synology, which is basically a server where you can access where you're anywhere in the world, which is the best. It needs power to keep running an internet 24/7. So we just got that, I would say. And my brother's a computer science guy, and he told us what to get. And it's more affordable to do the Synology over time because you're buying like does that make sense? Than buying SSDs.
Storage,
yeah. And
it's obviously less convenient. You can't just carry it in your bag.
Or you can't bring that in no, you can log into your Synology account online, right? So you can access it from anywhere. But storing your footage, I think, is super important. We keep every single file, not gonna lie. I kind of think that's silly. I just learned this the other day, is save your video without music, so that way you can pull back from any audio and then just export your video. It's pretty good to do. But yeah, anyways, and then a laptop, obviously, memory cards, tripods. Buy a good tripod because you're putting an expensive camera on it, and then it's so silly.
The tripod matters.
Yeah, the tripod it's basically your legs, right? Anyways, got the gear. That's like basically a short form of gear. Let's get back on track of the story though. So after we were traveling Canada, we were doing all that. After we did like the local travels, that's what we were allowed to do. We decided winter was coming and we're like, let's rebuild our van because we want to have a shower. We want to have a toilet. We were living in a van that only had a kitchen, everyone. No toilet, no shower, no nothing. We're going to Argentina in that thing. So we decided let's get some luxury amenities, and we built a van. And this is when Colin came into our life, I would say, and he was saying, hey, Jazz. No, he actually messaged Crystal, hey, if you ever need videography and editing tips, like, let me know. Like, he's been editing since he was basically 8 years old. A little teen buck, Anyways.
Teen buck.
And Crystal never told me. And then one day, I don't know how many months.
Anything of it.
No. We needed help. Our vlogs were mediocre. They're fun, but yeah.
And then you guys really got connected.
Then I found out that he messaged Crystal, and I was like, what are you doing not telling me about this? Anyway, so from when we were building the van in Barrie, for the second time, we started chatting, and that's when edits started taking me even longer, because now I was learning. I made a pact to myself that I was going to learn a new skill every single week on editing.
And you usually learned way more than one, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Way more.
You can like slowly watch them get better and better and better and better.
Yeah. And so obviously the time was taking way longer. And then we were traveling through Canada. We finished the van. We were like, let's go west. We saw some beautiful landscapes, Jasper,
and you're
everything.
Right. That was the time that we kind of honed in on the fundamentals, becoming better at editing, having 2 cameras at that time.
Yeah.
Learning, how to take better B-roll shots. We were kind of getting
talking
into that
to the camera.
stuff.
Yeah.
Getting more creative. Do you remember like our old
your
integrations and like that
your
dyno
thing. Like it was so funny.
Remember like we were watching that Daniel Schiffer guy and we're like watching all this like cool stuff. And anyways, we just like started exploring videography on a whole new level.
Yeah, and like the editing and the post-production.
And we started doing that like funny script stuff like the dyno vlog in Alberta.
It was so fun.
Yeah, and like to this day, like it kind of reminds me of like the Dilly Dally vlog that we did. It's just like, we love just like kind of, just having fun with it.
Yeah,
and, like,
having fun and also having like a why, I think is like one of our most important things.
Because it keeps us creative shooting too.
Yeah,
and like
I don't know how many videos we put out by this time. Probably like 80.
You were getting lots of tips from Colin on editing.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, and then you guys got really close and he became a big part of our journey.
Yeah, he would just constantly like, he would watch our videos and he was like, how do you want me to grade you? How much time do you have this week? And I'd be like, give me it all. Like, you know, grade as hard as you can. And he would grade. And I'd be like, whoa, I didn't even catch those things. You know what I mean? I didn't have the ear for it.
Like, what a kind human, just like wanting to like teach and like
share
and like
wild.
Like, I love those people.
I know. And then a year later, he's like now our editor. So now we have the best editor ever, the best teammate, because he's not just an editor. Like, when we'll shoot a vlog and then we'll like either send him a voice note, or because we have to voice note now, because whenever we call and talk about what we shot and like our vision for it and vision for scenes, and if there's anything like that is like confusing or complicated,
it's like a 5-hour phone call.
It's a 5-hour phone call, because we just get into the deep end, and we have the most interesting talks. I can't wait till he's on the podcast.
He's coming here soon.
Yeah,
I'm
because
super excited.
They're in Newfoundland right now, and we just get into the deep end about talking about everything. So we've resorted to voice notes now. So how like the structure goes with an editor is, well, in our case, is we like to treat our editor as a teammate, like a third van wife, not just like, it's not transactional. It's not anything like that. It's how can we all lift each other up.
Having a good relationship with the people in your work circle
is really important.
It's just so important.
Remember we met Yes Theory, and he was just like, that's so good you're meeting people on your team. Like, it's one of the most important things you can do.
Yeah.
Because they are like, Colin knows like how we talked to Bella and Issy. Like he'll literally mimic us, and I was like, oh my gosh, you hear my life. You know, because the camera just stays on like for however long, like 30-minute clips. So it's just rolling.
But having the editor, like having someone be able to be on our team, has enabled us to make better vlogs.
But I also want to say that like Colin also said that like we shouldn't just get an editor right away. We should learn the craft first, learn how to edit. And then when you're at a certain caliber, it doesn't matter how many videos you created or like where you're at, wherever you are in your craft, you like, if your edits are taking you way too long to edit now because you are more experienced editor, you need to get an editor, because your vlogs, your videos are now going to suffer,
right? More time into the shooting part of the video.
Yeah.
As well. If you're going to pour so much time into the editing, you need to...
You just don't have time for the shooting.
You lose time to shoot your videos.
Yeah. So like in Cabin Season 1, I said this on I think our Q&A, but Crystal was the only one like ending our videos, because I was staying up until like 4 a.m. on Sunday editing.
Saturday.
It was Sunday, so that's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, yeah.
Saturday nights to Sunday morning, I would stay up the entire time, like getting that video up and posting it. And it was just like, and then like, we would literally start vlogging on Sundays. We didn't have any days off then.
It was like, that was even like, the first full year.
We're skipping a whole bunch.
The first full year at the cabin, we were still doing that like,
it was not
hustle, press, publish at like 4 in the morning on
worse
Sunday.
Than when we were in van life, because not only were we... like, yes, travel is still a lot. You have to get to these places. But with building, you have to, research what you're doing. What the heck are we doing? Then you need to drive 2.5 hours to get your material. 2.5 hours to get your material. Put it all in your car, which takes another hour. And then, do you know what I mean? Like, the construction is just a whole different world, especially when you have no idea what you're doing. And we definitely did.
Like, sometimes it really actually takes us a full week to make a video here.
Yeah, and
because it's such big projects, like you can't build. I don't know. You just
can't build a deck in like a day
and vlog it. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
sometimes it takes 4 or 5 days.
So before Colin was our editor, we were going through. Obviously, we were so happy with what we're doing,
but we were burning out. We were burning out.
We were definitely like it wasn't okay. It was like
we would be like,
that's what I feel like I forgot a lot of Cabin Season 1 because I just had blinders on and I was just so focused on getting this place to so you could see it.
So you could be comfortable too.
Yeah. So then, construction got into the play, yada, yada, yada. However, I'm really happy I got to edit cabin videos because I think it just gave a certain like style and touch to this place. Do you know what I mean? It was just our home. Yeah. I like that I got to do that. Started out editing here. But it was too much. Yeah. And like Crystal said, we were burning out. And then we took off to Mexico, obviously, because our house was not livable for winter conditions. We had we had insulation, but it was like not good. We had not a fireplace that was up to code, wet certified, so you couldn't really light it. You actually legally could not light it.
We also had no water or electricity.
No water, no electricity. So we went to Mexico. No, it doesn't even make sense. When people say like, I can't believe you didn't stay, I'm like, you try.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. I don't respond, but...
The first winter.
Yeah, the first winter. Second winter. Yeah. Yeah, so then I would say Colin joined our team.
And gave us a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Literally.
He started in February, and my mom called it Freedom February because I feel like she saw a lot of how we were doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we were so happy, like loving our jobs. I love it, but we're keep going.
There was nothing else. There wasn't even sleep sometimes. So, and that's so cool to look back on because it obviously is what got us to where we are here today. But like, to be truthful, like that we couldn't do what we're doing now without, you know, Colin, and team is everything.
Yeah.
Truly.
And because like I would rather put out one quality video than a bunch of videos, right?
Yeah. Because we love the craft and we love making videos, and we love having the camera in our hand.
Yeah.
Like we would have it in our hand 7 days a week but it's like it's
you have
balance,
to put it down.
Moderation. You have to put it down. You have to take a step
sneak shots
back.
here and there, though. Let me tell you that much. On the weekend when I'm going to that greenhouse to pick some basil, I'm taking my phone with me. Yeah. And I feel like that's like really what has allowed us also to not only make better videos because we have more time, but also to start this podcast, right?
Yeah. Make merch, like all these things that we're so excited about that
we couldn't do before because we didn't even know our own two names. You know what I mean? Like literally, like, yeah. And that's like, it's tough on a relationship as well because the person that you love, normally you spend like a couple that doesn't work together would spend like 8 hours apart, and then you come home and you have like things to talk about. So like, yeah, sometimes we have silent dinners, and I love those silent dinners. I wouldn't change them for the world because I just spent the last whole day, like the whole day with you, right? And the girls. Yeah, so for the relationship part, I think it's important to have a team.
Totally.
In order to maintain your relationship and in your life, like your relationship, but also like your other relationships in your life. And
I'm proud of our team. That's how I feel truly in my heart. I'm so proud.
Yeah. I also like,
because it took so long to get there. So I am proud. I'm so proud.
I remember like seeing other YouTubers and be like, wow, it's so incredible you have a team. Like I couldn't believe the amount of people who were on their team. Like we had no idea. And then when like you see it and then you see like what they're being able to do, you're like, wow, you can give so much more back when you just include people.
And like when you think about it from a bigger perspective, you know, people who are like, you know, on tour for music or whatever.
They all
like,
have a team.
They don't do their hair, their makeup. They don't get their outfit ready. And
we still do that though. Just want to make a clarification. As you can see, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, but they don't like carry out all of the speakers and set up the stage.
Which we're still doing.
And take care of the audio and sing at the same time. Like it just doesn't make sense.
They're just singer. They're just singing, right?
Like,
and that's obviously like a huge.
Did they start that way? No. But at some point, like you need help, and it makes it better for everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's a little blurb about our team.
And then I think a pivoting point in our YouTube channel was when we moved to the cabin. However, we didn't know that going into it. Obviously, all we wanted to do was live at this cabin. It was like the most magical place ever, and it was what we dreamed of. It was just happening obviously earlier than we expected.
Yeah.
But obviously we're putting our life online.
We didn't know if people are going to want to watch it.
Yeah, and like there's like everyone knows on YouTube like you have like a niche. You can like obviously expand your niche, and that's super cool. But imagine none of you liked the cabin, right? Then like this big risk we took for YouTube, like was it all going to be over?
The risk of the cabin.
Yeah. Oh, was the cabin going to stand up? You never even know.
And just like coming out here to make videos and like, you know, renovate this cabin.
Yeah. However, like we spent the last 5 minutes of our cabin video talking about van life because I think we were so worried that people were going to think we like abandoned it and all this stuff. And like in actuality, like we didn't want to. However, you all love the cabin, like more than I ever expected. Like I'm obsessed with the cabin. You're all obsessed with the cabin. Everyone is. And that's when our channel was like a big pivoting turn, I think. And
there was like this really like bigger story.
So we're at the cabin. Everyone loved it. And that's what brought us home here and our YouTube journey. And now we make videos at the cabin. And it's so fun. And we show our life out here and a different way of living and teaching people that you don't have to follow the 9-to-5 job or climb the corporate ladder. I think you always knew that in your heart. I think I was even teaching myself, to be honest, as I'm reflecting right now. But yeah, there was more for us to do and to see and to show. Now we have a podcast and we're sitting right here after making numerous videos at the cabin, learning new things, like laying a metal roof.
I actually never thought we'd have a podcast.
Neither did I.
Well, one, we didn't have time, but then once we did have time, I just never imagined it. But it's like my favorite thing ever.
It's so fun. It's a whole different way that you can like tell a story.
Yeah.
And just sit here and talk.
Like we've never really had the opportunity to talk about what it means for us to be on YouTube and how we got here and like all these little intricate moments and the challenges and
pivoting moments and risks that we took. Yeah. It's hard to share that. I mean, this is probably like an hour now, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. From like day one.
We are both super grateful for the platform and our amazing community that watches our videos every Sunday.
Yeah.
And it motivates us and encourages us and leaves comments because we read them and, you know, people say, you know, they're motivated by our videos or our energy or the build or whatever it may be. But when we see all of you tuning in, it is so motivating for us. It's just so mutual is what I'm trying to say. It's just such a great thing. I love it so much.
Same. Thank you, Beck.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you want to start your dream, honestly, it doesn't have to be YouTube, but if you can, just try it out, you know?
If you want to start YouTube, you mean?
No, any dream. It doesn't have to be YouTube. Just start your dream. Like, if there's something that you're dreaming of that might scare you, just remember, we had like $200 to our name. And we just kept walking forward.
Take a risk.
Take a shot.
If you can.
Yeah, if you can. Obviously, there's a lot of privilege in that we were able to do that because we had like family to stay at and everything. And
we had a van at the time.
And all that. Yeah. So like, it's a big privilege to say that. But it also, I don't want to diminish the fact that it was a big risk.
True.
As well.
It's both.
Right?
Yeah.
I always tell people, I'm like, man, just eat beans and rice and make vids.
Beans and rice, baby.
Beans, rice, and vids. Love you, Pack.
Love you, Pack.
Ciao.